Cheers everyone, this is cellshade back again with another mining tutorial. Today we're going to be downloading and installing the Parasite command line tool and running Parasite locally on our computers in both Linux and Windows with a brief touch on Mac, which is all about the same as Linux with a minor twist. In the video description below, you'll find the necessary commands we'll be using throughout this tutorial, a link to the source code for Parasite, as well as links to the additional tools required for the Windows build. The first two things we're going to need are Git and Rust. Git may already be installed by default on Linux, and you can check this with the command git -- version. If no version is returned, you want to install Git with your package manager. We'll be showing you how to do this on Debian distros using the apt install git command or sudo apt install git command, sudo being used only if you need elevated permissions. On Mac, you'll be using the brew install git command via homebrew. If that command does not work because you don't have homebrew, you can pause the video here and find those install instructions in the video below. Next, we'll be downloading the Rust installer using the curl command found in the official language docs, also provided in the video description below. Once that download is complete, it will prompt you to configure your Rust install, and we'll simply be choosing to proceed with the standard installation option, option number 1. I've already gone ahead and downloaded Rust, so be aware that your experience may take a few minutes to complete, but once Rust is installed, you want to verify it and check your version with rustc -- version, and it's important to note that you want to be on Rust version 1.90.0 or greater. If you already have Rust installed or you somehow downloaded a lesser version, run the command rustup --update and it should get you to the latest version. From here, we're going to be using Git to pull down or clone the Parasite source code onto our machine. To do this, we run the command git clone followed by the name of the Parasite GitHub repository, which can be taken from the video description below if you don't feel like typing out what you see on the screen. This will get us all the files we'll need in order to build the Parasite tool itself. After the clone process is complete, we'll navigate into the new Para folder, which was just created for us, using the cd para command, cd meaning change directory. You can run the ls command one more time, and now you'll see all of the Parasite files themselves. At this point, we now have everything we need to build Parasite. We run the cargo --build -- release command, and that's going to compile all the Parasite files for us into a single binary or executable that we can then go ahead and run once complete. The build can take a few minutes, so it's a great time to take a sip of coffee, water your plants, check on your miners, and then swing back around. If you've made it this far, well done. You've officially installed Parasite on your local machine. To run it, you simply need to call the para binary that we just compiled, which is stored in the target/release directory. You'll do this by typing target/release/para, and then you'll see the program menu running in your terminal. From here, you can call any of the available Parasite commands, but for now, we'll just do a quick ping test to confirm that everything is working properly. We again call the para binary to invoke the program, but this time we also pass in the ping command, followed by the domain or IP that we wish to ping. In this case, that's going to be parasite.wtf. You'll see ongoing ping entries until you cancel the program, which you can do at any time by pressing Ctrl+C on your keyboard. And that's it for Linux and Mac. From here, we're off to tackle Windows. Similar to the Linux build, the first step for Windows is to install Git. Links to all of the installer executables that you'll need can be found in the video description below. I recommend downloading them all ahead of time so that you can follow along with us in the video as we run them. While I'll be running the installers from the command line, you can find them in the downloads folder and double click them with your mouse if you prefer. Go ahead and run the Git installer. It'll give you some install options to choose from, but unless you know what you're doing, just check the defaults for now. After the Git install finishes, the next step is to run the Rust installer. The Rust installer will give you a few options to choose from as well. The first of which we're going to go with option 3, which says don't install the prereqs. Most people running Windows outside of this video will probably choose option 1 by default, which relies on another program called Visual Studio, not to be confused with VS Code. However, I've seen too many weird bugs with their build tool suite not getting installed properly, so we're just going to avoid it entirely and take the path of GNU. The next prompt will ask about install options, and we're just going to choose option 1 for the standard installation, or just press enter. From here, we'll do a quick version check to make sure Git and Rust were installed correctly. The commands are identical to what they were in Linux, so we'll just enter git -- version and then rustc -- version. Again, pay attention to the Rust version. If you're not on version greater than or equal to 1.90.0, run the rustup update command to get yourself onto the latest version. Next, we're going to run 2 more rustup commands to install the GNU toolchain for Rust and to set GNU as its build default. This is what's going to take the place of Visual Studio and why we chose that first option 3 during the Rust install configuration. These commands can also be found in the video description below. Now that Rust is fully configured, we need to install a few system dependencies that Rust is going to rely on, and we're going to do this by running the MSYS installer provided in the video description below. Once you run this, you'll see a small configuration window pop up. Go ahead and select the default options until you get to the Finish tab, where it's important to select Run MSYS2 now before you click the Finish button. An MSYS terminal should appear on screen, and this is where we're going to execute the last installation command for Windows for the dependencies that we need. This is a longer command, so again, I recommend just copy and pasting from the video description below if you can, though I have seen this terminal not allow pasting before, and if so, you may need to pause the video and type this one manually. Once complete, just type exit and enter to close MSYS. From here, we need to add MSYS to our path, and to do so, hold the Windows key and press the letter S on your keyboard or search for env and open up the System Environment Variables panel. From there, click Environment Variables towards the bottom, select the path variable in that User Variables section and click Edit. Click New to add a new entry, and then type in exactly what you see highlighted on the screen, or take it from the video description below. Click all the OKs when you're done and close out of those windows, and now we're finished with MSYS. Okay, we're almost done. Hang in there. The last thing we need to install before using Rust is a program called cMAKE. Run the cMAKE installer provided in the video description below, select any defaults if it asks, and once complete, check your version by running the command cMAKE -- version. If it doesn't work right away, just go ahead and close and reopen your terminal, type the command again, and you should be good. At this point, Windows should be fully configured to build and run Para, so we'll go ahead and clone the Parasite source code with the git clone command, followed by the name of the Parasite repository, and then cd into the Para directory, just like we did for Linux. Now, just like we did on Linux, we run the cargo --build -- release command to compile all the Parasite files into a single executable that we can then go ahead and run. The build can take a few minutes, so again, it's a great time to meditate, do some push-ups, phone a friend, or read a page of that book that's been sitting on your desk. Once the build is complete, you'll be able to call the executable from its target location by typing /target/release/para.exe, similar to how we called the Linux binary, but with the .exe suffix, and you should see the Para menu pop up. We'll run another ping command from here to the parasite.wtf domain just to confirm, and once you see results, you can cancel them at any time by pressing Ctrl+C on your keyboard. And that's it. You're officially running Parasite on your local Windows machine. Well done. Thanks for watching, and be sure to give a thumbs up if you found the video helpful. Cheers.